As the RAF reaches its 100th year anniversary this April, it's worth reflecting about the reason why it was founded originally in 1918 in April as an independent service, growing out of course, the Royal Flying Corps as part of the British Army and the Royal Naval Air Service as part of the Royal Navy. It was recognised, particularly with the introduction of early what we would recognise now as strategic bombers, the ballooning of the force from a few hundred aircraft to many thousands by the end of the war, and the refresh rate of technology, tactics, and the scale of training and of personnel, both flying, pilots and observers, but also ground crew, technicians, that this really did require a separate service of dedicated military personnel who really studied and understood air power and its application. And very much as we go into the second century of the Royal Air Force, that is still true today, that demonstrably fighting and projecting military power, enabling military operations from the air, requires a different skill set from those taught and encouraged, nurtured by the British Army and the Royal Navy. Hence, the Royal Air Force going into its second century very much with the same sort of ethos as well as it was born with in 1918. The Royal Air Force, I would argue, is actually in a stronger position than the British Army or the Royal Navy at the moment, being very heavily operationally employed around the world, both in Iraq and Syria, legacy commitments in Afghanistan, defence of the Falklands, the Baltic states as part of our enhanced forward presence NATO commitments, and also of course securing Britain's skies every day of every year.